The tragic death of a 52-year-old Chinese national in U.S. Border Patrol custody has ignited a firestorm of controversy, raising serious questions about accountability and the treatment of immigrants within the system. Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal revealed the devastating news, detailing a sequence of events that underscores systemic failures and a disturbing lack of transparency. The woman, who had overstayed her B-1/B-2 visitor visa, was initially apprehended in California. Her journey then took a tragic turn, culminating in her death by suicide on March 29 at the Yuma, Arizona Border Patrol Station. This isn't merely a statistic. This is a human life lost under the watch of a government agency entrusted with its protection. The circumstances surrounding her death paint a grim picture of potential negligence and a disturbing disregard for basic human rights. The Tucson Sentinel's initial report brought this tragedy to light, exposing a troubling lack of proactive communication from Border Patrol officials. Instead of issuing a timely and transparent public statement regarding the death of a person in their custody, authorities remained silent until prompted by the Sentinel's inquiries. This delayed acknowledgement raises serious concerns about transparency and the potential for covering up critical information. The subsequent official statement, delivered only after external pressure, appears to be a reactive, damage control measure rather than a proactive demonstration of accountability. Adding to the grim narrative, the Yuma Sector Border Patrol's social media post, released after the woman's death, only mentions her arrest alongside a 38-year-old man during a vehicle stop near Needles, California. The post highlights the seizure of over $220,000 in cash, wrapped in aluminum foil and contained in duffel bags, allegedly the proceeds of unspecified illegal activity. While this information is relevant, it overshadows the far more significant event: the death of a vulnerable individual in their custody. The disproportionate emphasis placed on the financial seizure underscores a troubling prioritization of material assets over human life. Congresswoman Jayapal, a ranking member of the House Subcommittee overseeing immigration, amplified the concerns surrounding the incident. While official records indicate that welfare checks were logged, the investigation has failed to verify whether these checks were actually conducted. This critical gap in accountability casts a long shadow over the entire incident, fueling suspicions of inadequate oversight and a systemic lack of care for those detained. The inability to confirm the execution of supposedly routine welfare checks demonstrates a worrying level of procedural inadequacy and underscores a potential lapse in the most fundamental duties of care. Was there a failure to provide adequate mental health support? Was there a failure to recognize signs of distress? These are critical questions that demand thorough and transparent investigation. This incident is not an isolated event, but a symptom of a larger systemic problem. It highlights the urgent need for improved training, enhanced oversight mechanisms, and a fundamental shift in the culture of Border Patrol to prioritize the well-being and human rights of those in their custody. The failure to publicly acknowledge the death promptly further emphasizes the lack of accountability and transparency within the system. This case necessitates a comprehensive review of protocols, policies, and procedures to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. The lack of readily available information, the delayed response, and the apparent prioritization of financial details over the loss of human life represent a profound failure of the system. It is not enough to simply investigate the immediate circumstances of this death. A comprehensive, independent investigation must be conducted to examine systemic issues within the Border Patrol, ensuring that the well-being of detainees is prioritized and that policies and procedures are in place to prevent future tragedies. This case serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of insufficient oversight and a lack of commitment to the protection of vulnerable individuals. It's imperative that we demand answers and accountability. We must push for comprehensive reforms that prioritize human rights, transparency, and the well-being of all individuals within the immigration system. The death of this woman should not be in vain. Her memory should serve as a catalyst for meaningful change, forcing us to confront the systemic issues that allowed such a tragedy to occur. This is not just about numbers and statistics. It's about a human life tragically lost, a life that deserved far better than what the system provided. The silence surrounding her death is unacceptable. The delay in acknowledging her passing is unacceptable. The lack of verifiable welfare checks is unacceptable. The focus on financial seizures over human life is unacceptable. We must demand better, for the sake of those detained, for the integrity of the system, and for the memory of the woman who lost her life in the custody of the U.S. Border Patrol. If you are struggling with suicidal thoughts, please reach out for help. You are not alone. In the U.S., you can call or text the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 988, chat on 988lifeline.org, or text home to 740 to connect with a crisis counselor. In the UK and Ireland, Samaritans can be contacted on freephone 116 123 or email joe@samaritans.org or joe@samaritans.ie. In Australia, the Crisis Support Service Lifeline is 13 11 14. Other international helplines can be found at befrienders.org. Remember, there is hope and help is available. Please reach out.